wake up, it's time to be free. Wake up, what's blind, now I see. Wake up, it's time to be me. Wake up, my mind is the key.
Wake up, it's time to be me. Wake up, my mind is the key.
Welcome to another episode of Daily Jules, where I drop nuggets of wisdom to help you increase your degrees of freedom. It doesn't matter how many college degrees you have, the only degree that matters is your degree of freedom. It doesn't matter how much money you make, what matters is how you actually make money. We've been duped and indebted to the education system, which didn't teach us how to be free whatsoever, and the purpose of thefreedomschool.com is to help you become more and more free. So we got an amazing question today, and I won't state the name because it's a very sensitive issue, where the person said, my mom passed and didn't leave a will. She owned a home with $18,000 left on it with a monthly mortgage of $452. How would you suggest I turn this into a positive? First and foremost, my condolences are to you and your family. It's always, you can't turn losing your mother into a positive, but we can turn this asset and what your mother created for the family and left behind into a positive. And I want to take you through that a process so that what you now know that she left behind is a legacy through this asset, right? Well, it's gonna be an asset for you. It might not have been an asset for her, right? A home is for usually at best a savings account, but because she spent the last 27 years paying off the mortgage, it'll be an asset for you. And I don't know if you have siblings or whatnot. So I'm gonna say, should I sell my parents' home? Okay. So right now you say that there's $18,000 left on the mortgage, $18,000 left, and her monthly mortgage is $452. Wow, that's pretty low. So monthly mortgage is $452. $452. So because she's so deep into the mortgage, most of that is actually going to principal. So I'm just going to do a quick calculation. It's going to be about 36 months. If you just round up to 500, it's going to be about 36 months left, right? Which is equivalent to 3 years. So if you should sell depends on a few things, right? If the market, the market. If the market is up in this neighborhood and you think it's at its peak, then you might want to sell because this is the most money that you would ever get from the property. So let's say you could sell it for $218, but 2 years ago it was $158. You might say, look, I'm just gonna sell it and take the $200,000. Now, if you don't know what you're going to do with that $200,000 and it's just going to go into a savings account, then you probably want to keep the asset if you don't have a better reason for it. But if you are going to take this $200,000 and then use it to buy a multifamily home, right? Multifamily home, another rental property that's going to cash flow at $1,000, right? You use this as a 25% down payment. Anytime you're buying income property, besides your first purchase, it's usually going to be about 25% down. So let's say you buy a $800,000 3-family or 4-family or something. I don't know where you live, because $200,000 can go a long way depending on where you live. And that building cash flows. That cash flows, let's say $6,000 minus a $3,000 mortgage. So if you take that $200,000 and you go buy that and the cash flows $3,000 a month, positive cash flow, then that's what you want to do if you have a strong intention for the $200,000. If it's just going to go sit in a bank account, then that's not going to serve you. Because right now, the cash flow here is after, let's say you could rent this out. For $1,000, right? So you rent this out for $1,000, and minus 452, that's 548. So that's cash flowing. That's cash flowing you 548. Of course, this is greater, right? So we don't want money in our bank accounts beyond our emergency fund, right? We want to use it to create the greatest amount of cash flow. And this, if you believe that this is a scenario and that you can go buy something like this and actually have a positive cash flow after paying off the mortgage of this, then you'll take this all day over this. But even 3 years from now, remember that even though this is 3 years from now, this 452 goes away, and now you're getting 1,000, and you're only paying property and taxes. So let's just say that's 150. So now you're getting 850 a month. That's still better over here, right? So given that, I don't know, there's a lot of factors that we need to know. We need to know your credit, right? Because that's going to determine the interest rate that you get on this kind of loan. So we need to know your credit. We need to know your time horizon for freedom. We need to know the neighborhood and market prices. Like, is the market up or is it down or is it flat? Market prices. We need to know the rent. We need to know the rent for this kind of place. There's a lot of factors that I need to know. If you have siblings who you're going to have to split with. We need to know if there's going to be any estate taxes. There's a lot of pieces of information that we would need to know to really make a sound financial decision here. But overall, if you know exactly what you want to do with, if you were to sell and you knew exactly what you were going to do with the proceeds, and you were going to invest it in a way that actually created $3,000 in cash flow a month, that's always going to be greater than 548 for the next 3 years, and then 850 indefinitely after that, right? And if also the house condition, it may have a lot of repairs, which actually cut into this. So for me, this over here, actually selling and not just selling and investing in an asset that actually creates more cash flow might be the best bet. So again, I'm saying this based on a lot of missing information. All of this is needed to make a informed decision on whether or not you should sell your parents' home now that your mother is transitioned. All right. So I hope that this is helpful and that this has helped you increase your degrees of freedom. I pray that you make the best decision possible for your family. I pray that your family is okay after your mother's transition, and I wish you the best on your journey towards freedom. So with that, I want to say thank you for participating in another episode of Daily Jules, and I will see you in the next episode. Much love. Peace. I hope these mindsets, metaphors, and methodologies blessed you. If you desire more freedom, go to getfreenow.com to subscribe to the show on iTunes, YouTube, or Facebook, and get 4 of my best courses in the Freedom School for 100% free.